me, Mario!
Hey all, Hiba here, welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to tell you how you can play your old Nintendo 64 games on your Switch with a minimum of fuss. It really is very easy. So of course, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, of course give a like and a share, and also comment if you have anything you want to add to the video. So playing Nintendo 64 on Switch is straightforward. There's actually a whole app dedicated to it, and the only downside is that you have to pay a little bit of extra money to actually be able to use the app. So what you require is a Switch Online subscription. Most people have that if they have a Switch. But what you also need is the so-called expansion pack. Now this is what gives you the access to actually play not just Nintendo 64, but a lot of old console games on your Switch. Now it does cost a little bit extra, but like I said, it's money well spent. So once you have the expansion pack subscription, it's just a matter of going to the Nintendo eShop and downloading the Nintendo emulation app, which is pretty much what it is. Now the app is free, so it's not going to cost you anything. After the download, the app will be available in your games list, and all you got to do is just click it to start it. So once the app is up and going, you're going to have a huge selection of games you can play, and you can play them by yourself or you can play them in multiplayer. It depends on, of course, what the games were made for. Now there's a very nice rounded selection here. There's something for everyone. There's single player games, there's multiplayer games, there's first party game, and there's also third party games. And just let me mention the controller here before we get started. The mappings are a little bit different to what you're used to with the Switch. That's because, well, that's how the Nintendo 64 worked. Particularly the analog stick is on the, what you would say, the wrong side. But that'll take a little bit of getting used to. Like I said, the selection of games is pretty excellent, and they all run very well. Now, they haven't really been improved over the Nintendo 64. Some of them run just a little bit better and don't have any slowdown, but other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. And of course, that's a good thing, because what we're trying to do here is to emulate the original games. So the classic Super Mario 64, the first really good 3D platformer, is also available on the Switch Nintendo 64 collection. And although the camera is a little bit more unwieldy than I remember, there's certainly been some progress there over the years, it is still an excellent game and something you should not cheat yourself out of if you've never owned a Nintendo 64. And of course, there is also Zelda games. There's actually two on the Nintendo 64 on the Switch version, and it's the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And they are both still excellent games that, again, if you haven't played them before, or if you haven't owned a Nintendo 64, or perhaps you weren't even born back then, it is definitely a series of games that you should play, particularly if you are a Zelda fan of the more recent titles. When it comes to multiplayer games, there is a whole collection of Mario Party games here as well. There's Mario Party 1 and 2, which is excellent. And just to show you Mario Party 1 here, of course there are more recent versions of these games available on the Switch. But that being said, the original Mario Party games actually hold up pretty well on the Nintendo 64. I mean, the graphics are a little bit muddy, but other than that, they're still excellent games to play, and they are, as you say, free. So of course, let's have a look at one of the most famous games from the Nintendo 64 era, the Golden Eye. And if you haven't played this, well, again, you absolutely have to. There is no skipping out on this classic. Lastly, I just want to mention quickly that there is also what I consider the best platformer ever made available on the Nintendo 64 app on the Switch, and it is BanjoKazooie. Now, this is still a highlight in the platforming genre, and I know there is a like a polished version available on Xbox, but this original version is still excellent. And again, you really owe yourself to play this game. So that's how you play Nintendo 64 games very easily on your Switch. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share, and of course comment if you have anything to say.